Grade 10, Chapter 3, Two Stories About Flying, Part 2, The Black Aeroplane. This story is written by renowned author Frederick Forsyth. In this story, the author talks about mystery. It is a mysterious story where the author reflects on how one's judgment gets distorted due to fantasizing and how it creates problems. The protagonist of the story, or the narrator of the story, is a pilot who is so eager to meet his family and have a good breakfast that he takes the wrong decision of facing the storm instead of doing the right thing. Miraculously, he is able to manage the things as he was flying in his Dakota plane, and he is fortunate enough to escape the storm. The pilot, who feels happy and contented to fly over a city, that is France, he was flying from Paris to London. So while taking his flight, he dreams about the long holiday with his family. He also fantasizes about the scrumptious breakfast he would have upon landing. As soon as he crosses Paris, he gets a look of the dark clouds, and that was a sign of the upcoming storm. It was a question of safety, and he was not very much sure how much time it would take for him to fly to England. This is how the story moves on, and we get to know that he happens to meet somebody who helps him escape from the storm and safely land in the airport. Let us read the story and find out what happens next. It was moonlit night, and the narrator is flying in his old Dakota DS-088 aeroplane over France. As he was on his way to England, he could observe that it was beautiful moonlit night and the sky was clear. He was very happy to have an easy flight. As he was dreaming of meeting his family, he was so excited that he did not think about anything else other than reaching home on time. On his way, he called the Paris control room and informed about his flight and destination. He was advised by the control room that he should turn 12 degrees west. He checked the compass and other instruments and followed the instructions. He also switched over to his second and last fuel tank. This was what he was checking on and on again while he was flying. He was not very much sure how long the fuel tank would last, and as he was in short of fuel, he could not make sure what he should do so that he can land safely and easily. It was a clear sky at first when he had started his journey, but suddenly he saw huge storm clouds in front of him. He could not fly over them because he did not have enough fuel. He thought to go back to Paris, but his eagerness to meet his family and his breakfast stopped him from taking this decision. So ultimately he decided to take the risk. He flew his plane straight into the black clouds. Everything was black inside the clouds. Nothing could be seen outside the aeroplane. He checked his compass and other instruments, and he noticed that they had stopped working. He did not know where he was and how he could come out of the clouds. He was lost in the storm. Suddenly he saw a black aeroplane flying next to him. He was happy to see another plane near him. The pilot of the black plane waved his hand and asked the author to follow him. So this is what he is observing as he is crossing the dark clouds, and he is not very much sure where he was heading. The author followed the instructions of that aeroplane being flown by a stranger like an obedient child. The black plane flew in front of the Dakota for about half an hour or so. The fuel in the Dakota was about to exhaust. The author again felt scared. His plane could fly only for 10 minutes more. But luckily, he saw that he had landed safely on an airport. After landing safely, the author wanted to thank the pilot of the black aeroplane. He asked the woman at the tower about the second pilot. As he landed safely at the airport, he rushed towards the cabin where he could go and meet the officials to inquire whom he did meet so that he can thank the gentleman for helping him escape the storm. The woman at the desk replied that there was no other plane in the sky that night. The author was surprised and asked himself who the pilot on the strange black plane was. The author could not meet the pilot of the strange black plane, but he thought to himself that there was something that was unusual. The story has ended abruptly, and the reader could not make out what the protagonist could have experienced and whom did he meet. So it's a mystery story, as it is mysterious to find out whom he was looking for to share the gratitude. This is how the author gives a kind of twist to the story, and the readers are left to wonder and ponder over what could have happened next. I hope you will enjoy reading this interesting story.